Welcome to our next adventure with Chemology 411, a podcast about anything and everything. Kim and her guests will take you behind the scenes, behind the story, or behind the bar. So sit back. Make sure your seatbelt is fastened, tray table in its upright position, all carry-ons stored under the seats. But for this adventure, electronic devices must remain on, as we are ready to take off on our next adventure. Introducing Kim Schultz and Chemology 411.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 26. What up? 26. Woo! We should have like sound effects or something here.
New Year's Eve. Party favors.
All right. Well, this evening we are going to talk about a lot of random things, but also we're going to celebrate half a year and kind of go on a flashback of the last 25 episodes. Maybe look at some of our topics and just kind of see if anything's changed or I don't know. And so anyway, I am Kim Schultz and I am your adventure coordinator for this show. And let's say hi to my 6 foot away co-host, Tyson Harley.
Yes, hello. So yeah, the 26-week thing, meaning we have actually done this for a whole half a year. So that's a big, good start for any podcast to make it a year as opposed to kind of, we went a half dozen, then it kind of fell away. And then the other thing too is that, a full 6 months, that's big. And then we understand this is kind of a weird time because, yeah, I mean, we don't want the main episode to be about coronavirus, but we're smack in the middle of it.
Right.
So we're going to make an excursion, and we'll just touch on kind of the context we are in socially, and just the side effects and corollaries we have as a result of this being during the middle of this coronavirus stuff. But first, it's Quick Hits with Tyson Harley. So we have an inexpensive, all of a sudden, we have a wealth, except for that they've been closed, but that's another story. We have a wealth of inexpensive gym options here where we live. And the wealth has gotten even more, where people can pay $10 for unlimited 24/7, and even some cases less than that if they bet on themselves as far as how many times they're going to show up. So we have plenty of 24/7 options that are inexpensive, unlike, say, 3-4 years ago, or 5 or 6, where we had some pretty good gyms, but it was more like money that young people would balk at, and they may not pay for it. So I am seeing an increase in the number of like stacked dudes in our gym.
Where did they come from?
And women who are already pretty, and now they're just forget about it. They went from 8.5s to 10s because all of a sudden they're trimmer and their butts are better and their thighs are great, and they just. Anyway, I first that observation, but did you hear, and one person that, someone that we both know, an acquaintance we both know, who's in his 40s, is like, I'm going to do bodybuilding, and it's going to be a June show. I think I overheard, potentially from one of these pretty stacked guys up at the gym, him talking to somebody on the last day that we could go to the gym, by the way, locally. And I got in there like 3 hours before they made the announcement that they were going to close. Where he's saying, they're like, right here in Topeka? Yeah, in June. And I'm like,
awesome.
Looking at that guy, I think that meant there might be a bodybuilding event in June in Topeka. So I don't know if you'd heard about that.
I had not heard about that.
Okay, and the theme for today is, you're so far away from me. You're so far, I just can't see. And that's because of the coronavirus thing. That popped into my brain, so we had to look that up.
Lord.
And that's that Dire Straits song. So we think 6 foot away.
Yeah, we're approximately. That's why it sounds so weird, because we want to do social distancing, which God forbid you don't even know what that is if you're listening to this later on. Because if this has become a norm, we're like little zombies walking down the sidewalk alone. Or 6 foot away. So
anyway, we're trying to stay 6 feet away, even though I have my own opinions on our reaction and or overreaction to it.
I normally sit on his lap while we're doing this.
So no more 6 inches, just six feet. So that's so not that. Hey, stop it. So we turned up our gain on our microphone. So So that's why we're hoping it doesn't. It sounds a little. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop.
Focus.
Okay, that one's
I gotta
gone.
focus. I'm sorry. I'm
quick
I'm
hits with
exhausted.
Tyson Harley. And so one thing that we've noticed is that we're, maybe watching a little different things and trying to maybe keep cheerful because honestly, I'm emotionally, I'm basically devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. And no, I'm not scared, but I am devastated over the situation. And I'm not trying to minimize anything, but I'm in the right age group, and I've been taking my temperature, and I'm naturally social distance anyway because I'm an introvert, plus of all the extra measures. So I feel good. I have not had a temperature. I have not had a cough, anything. But some things I've been doing because I am devastated emotionally about this whole situation, and I really mean that. Yesterday was the first official day of me having probably over 2 weeks off, and being a party member, so I get paid, so it's supposed to be all good. I'm getting paid for this on your taxpayer money, by the way, because I've told you I was in the public sector. And anyway, I turned on Pandora Comedy to help me, and I just listened to hours. It's something I'll do at work too, because I know these comedy bits so well that they don't really pull my attention. They just kind of make me laugh, and it doesn't take my attention because most of them are not new bits. I've heard them over and over again, but they're funny enough that they just kind of keep me in a cheerful mood. So yesterday I listened to a lot of Pandora Comedy, and you've been watching Andy Griffith and the like.
No, I purchased Boomerang, and I've been watching Scooby-Doo, The Jetsons. Yesterday was Yogi Bear.
Nice.
I'm really trying to, during doing taxes and this time of year, I always have to have something going on in the background. So I'm not really watching those. I'll tell you what I'm watching. But during the day, I'm really watching lighthearted things that just kind of are in the background that make me feel better.
And that's helping
pushing me up.
Is that kind of a strategy here?
It is my strategy because, I don't have to have a virus to have me work 12-hour days for 95 days in a row. I usually get like 5 or 6 days off. And then like one day a week, I spend like 4 hours where I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything. And, I don't have that option anymore. So the only thing I can do is watch TV. So I'll tell you, whenever you ask me, I'll tell you what I'm watching.
So regarding that, very quickly, a corollary off of a quick hit. So I don't know what that was, a jab? I don't know. I'm curious very quickly, even though they've extended the tax deadline this year, you're still really trying to get all your business done early so you're not having to stretch it out. Isn't that true?
Okay, so just because someone
For those of you from the future, it went from April 15th to July 15th.
And just to be aware,
filing your taxes.
If you trust the government, then they're trying to say that they're not going to charge you penalties or anything like that. Everything's going to be fine till July 15th. But that is a very huge, that's going to take people a lot of time to have to go in and rewrite the software, make all the changes. So if you want to chance the fact that you're not going to get charged penalties, then
even just accidentally?
Then even accidentally, because this isn't going to be tested. These people, first of all, a lot of them aren't even probably at work. So you need to still get it in. Secondly, I don't do taxes after April 13th until September.
And we're now just 3 weeks left. I mean, you kind of sneaks up on you.
I will be done. I will
what is
be
today?
done.
25th? 24th? 25th.
It's the 24th. I have one gentleman that is 82 years old, and he called me and he says, is there any way we can do this in June? I'm just too scared to leave the house. And I said, for you, I will do it. But for anyone else, no. They can drop it off at my house. We can get it done. Drop it off wherever we're doing it. I'm done. Like at the CPA firm, we're done because we have other jobs that we do. So
April 13th.
So
you're not trying to extend.
I'm not extending anything.
Yearly misery.
No. I mean, all my business ones are filed. I've got extensions on 2 of them. I'm not doing it.
So, back to Quick Hit, and you were watching, you had Andy Griffith on, and it reminded me of Leave It to Beaver, and I just had a childhood memory about when I was 7 or 8, I'm like, Wally's such a cool big brother, and I kind of hope I look like him, because he had kind of like this filled out look and this cool hair. I mean, I'm not old enough to have watched the thing originally, but there were reruns when we were kids, and you could see it on certain channels quite a bit. Leave it to Beaver still on like Me TV in the morning.
Yeah,
and stuff. I'm sure it is.
Love it.
And Quick Hit, another thing. Actually, it's just related. We were we looked up really quick just the headlines of what binge series in this coronavirus lockdown have people significantly seen. Like, wow, people are watching this a lot. We didn't really find the news article that we thought we could quickly. So that becomes a Facebook question for you. What are you watching? So when we post on that, the episode generally, you can respond to that. Hey, your episode asked, what we're watching in this coronavirus shutdown. I haven't really added anything, honestly. I'll go months and months without watching Netflix, so I'm still on Ion Television. And the great thing about Ion Television is they won't go to a bunch of news breaks.
Right.
And so I can be totally removed from this. Another quick hit. Bam, bam! So you would put up a quick meme on this idea that there's a lot of coronavirus. I've said the internet's best thing is that it crowdsources humor. And that's really one of the only good things about the internet versus all the censorship that's happening right now, and has happened for some time, and the propaganda that can be thrown out. But hey, crowdsourced humor, great. And one thing that you had put out that you had seen was the meme about, hey, this is how we can tell if you're at risk for worse coronavirus reaction.
Right.
And that was a cassette tape and a pencil, and the idea was if you know what the connection of these two is, and then you're more at risk because you're old enough to understand what the cassettes and the rewinding and of the cassette.
And for all those people that have no clue what that is, Google it. Cassette tape
plus pencil
and a pencil.
So. Well, I just kind of said it, but yeah, maybe they missed it.
I was going to say, anyway, but they wouldn't. What is a cassette tape?
As a result of you looking or saying that, you answered to some of your friends, and you pointed out a particular cassette, and we had a fun time going down the list. And these days, the interesting thing is we looked into it. It was Street Gems, Electric Funk Part 2, probably circa about 1983. So it was one of these compilation ones, and it had songs like, and we looked it up on YouTube, and YouTube, you can go find these old songs. It was what couple that we heard that we looked up. It was the other side.
It's Street Jams Electric Funk Part 2.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
And so we were able to look up the various songs on YouTube, and I'm telling you, man, that early innocent rap, was very interesting.
Give me one.
Siberian Nights, Twilight 22.
We want to try that one?
I think we looked that up and we liked it fine, yeah.
Okay,
because we listened to a couple while we were chatting the other night. All right, let's see what we got.
Let's see if we can get this.
And while she's looking for Siberian Nights...
No, I got it.
Already. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What?
This is my jam.
This is one of Kim's. This is Kim's. I'm sure I got cassettes, but I didn't pull any out recently.
Ain't right, it's cold as ice. But hang the lights, then. Siberian nights. Could it be the KGB? Or is it just my reality? Don't you believe everything you see?
Hey, look up real quick, what one did I find? It had Ice-T in it. And somewhere in there, you remember the old, if you looked, okay, I better tell you that so you can look it up. It's called...
No, I got the whole album here.
Look up, Reckless Club Mix. And it'll have like these, voice, robot voice, robot voice. It's got Ice-T and Taylor and David Store, Storr. And Maurice Starr was on this. I'm like, he was like the producer or something.
Yeah, he did a lot of that back in the day.
He was like, ended up being with Backstreet Boys or something like that, too.
Yeah,
he was like a producer or an agent or
yeah, he
like
was.
And we look like all these are like 6 minutes.
Well, and you notice it's because you have to like do your breakdance battle. So you have to have a lot of
gotta
stuff.
Have time for the breakdance battle.
You have to have the music at the front so that it takes a while to get everybody into the move and jamming with you. You know, doing your little breakdance. Uh-oh.
A DJ's task was just to play records. What more could you ask?
If there's ever time we should be on camera.
Yeah,
because we're moving.
He is breaking it down. I just snorted.
Go a little forward, there should be a robot voice. Remember, you forgot how much they used that.
That's a lot of this.
You forgot there are so many zippers involved.
A lot of zippers. I can't
See, but first came to bring in the zippers and then became the hose.
The hose?
You know? There weren't as many hose back then.
I don't think we're going to get to Ice-T on that one.
Just go forward. I want to hear one of the robot voices.
Like, I went all the way to the end. I can't get to it.
I don't know where...
Okay.
I was saying I didn't remember what his... maybe it was in the Pac Jam Look Out for This Cute... Yeah, it may have been Johnzun Crew.
The Johnzun Crew one?
Jonzun, yeah. Because one of them definitely had a very prominent robot voice.
Yeah, it did.
Remember that?
We're about speed right now. Instead.
You forgot about that computer. It's not even computer. It was just a little voice modulator thing. But they used it a lot in those early.
Yeah, this video is kind of futuristic.
There we go. Reminded me of trap music, which I listen to. So you got to be careful, you go 30 seconds without commentary, then it's like a copyright thing.
Pretty sure they're going to be like, what the hell is that song?
So anyway, yeah, just so you know, if you wanted more background on Kim, that's a cassette that she was able to pull out and
within minutes.
Got my straight cred right here.
Right, yeah.
She broke dance. Is that the past tense?
No, it's
okay. Because now that sounds broke dance now sounds like something
that'd be like a bad stripper. Not making any money.
If
well, that was
no. Listen. So you break dance, but then wouldn't that mean that you broke dance or that you break dance?
This is my girl's.
But now that sounds like something two cowboys would do.
Right.
They broke dance.
Right.
Doing the loneliness of Wyoming.
No, we.
Oh boy. Oh, we're not 6 feet apart.
Oh yeah, back up. Back it up.
Back.
This is my sound. This is my song.
Is this the same one or this one?
No, this is just my song right here.
No parking on the dance floor. You can back it up, but you can't park.
These intros are so long.
All right, guys.
And we have like a little movie.
Oh yeah, you gotta
get past
punch it.
Excuse me, madam. You're standing still in a no parking zone. If you don't get a move on this body, I'll be forced to give you a ticket.
I can tell you that the difference between our two 80s is the difference between me not recognizing any of these. And probably you were more social and out there earlier than I was. Because I don't recognize any of these in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, wet my whistle.
Well, that was a long quick hit and not really a quick hit. That's kind of the last one I had. And we can get off to just our regular, this is a very informal episode. We'll do the excursion. So, yeah, you had some stuff to talk about.
Well, first of all, we wanted to talk about shelter in place. You said lockdown earlier, and that's a pet peeve of mine because we're not on lockdown. Because if we were on lockdown, you wouldn't be at my house. You'd be stuck in your...
Want to fight about it?
Back up 6 feet.
Boxers now can only touch gloves when they hit.
That's right.
Just count how many times they touch gloves. If they got short
arms, it's not even going to touch gloves.
Yeah. It's just purely mathematical.
Whenever he's trying to think of something, his face just goes like, I don't know what. It's like this look on his face.
You mean like I was trying to think of smart comeback and then I couldn't come up with it? You're like, I got something, I don't got anything.
I know. Don't got it. So anyway, we're in shelter in place, and so Johnson County was last week, and it started today.
Johnson County is a major county on the Kansas side in the Kansas City metro,
and so,
or one of the major.
Anyway, so that's going to be interesting. They want us to do this for 30 days, so we'll talk about that later. But I do want to let you know that as of right now, we are in shelter in place. So, having all of this illness stuff going around us, I always get a sinus infection. Every year. My
sister also has allergies.
And I was out for the parade the other day, and I know that is why I'm sick, because I'm not supposed to be outside in the cold air as much, and I was. So I've been dealing with a sore throat and a cough, and today at the office, at the CPA's office, I went up to make a copy, and there's a client up there, and we've got bacterial wipes, we've got Clorox, we've got everything, because we got a lot of older clients, and it's kind of like it just makes them feel safer. I don't know if it's doing any good, but
right.
And I was stopping, we were kind of talking back and forth, and I had to cough. And I'm just sitting there going, don't cough, don't cough, don't cough, don't cough, don't cough. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm cold. I've got a sinus infection, and I don't even get to cough in public anymore. So I was like, left. Like I was like, oh, I better go downstairs to my office so I could go cough. It's just ridiculous. But my throat's feeling better. I turned on the vaporizer, and I've had this my entire life.
Did we mention on the air yet that even though I have been taking my temperature just to be just to have an interest in it. Turns out that some people have. It's interesting about the temperature. Have you been taking your temperature?
No.
So I went and found my electronic ones, and they vary. I mean,
yeah.
And I'm not even. I'm like in the 97s, like 97.3 FM. And one was under 97. So I've been taking it just in case. But it's funny because in reality, the average body temperature is a bell curve like anything else. It's just like that whole heart rate. Your 80%, your maximum heart rate, 60 to 80. People's heart rates vary wildly, even for a particular person of a particular age. I mean, it's not really a great formula. And even the regular 98.6, people vary a lot. I just read something the other day where some older people in nursing homes might only have a body temperature of about 94.
Oh, yeah.
Which means that they're really at a fever a lot lower.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you should probably consider taking your body temperature just to see what the usual is.
Like mine's 90. Mine's 98, 98.9, 99. I'm warmer normally.
And I apparently, because I remember doing this for a little while, sometime in the last 2 years for some reason or another. I guess it's because I was curious after I saw it.
Or you're a nerd.
After I saw it low, yeah, maybe. I got nothing. And I mean, that's not an allegation I can immediately refute. But I remember...
I think I'm just going to take my temperature 5 times a day.
Well, after I saw that it was low, I'm like, well, that's interesting. Like, like a lot low. A degree and a half low of what's average. Then I took it, and it's like, consistently it was a lot lower than 98.6.
Well, and when I was trying to get pregnant with Chelsea, you can tell by your temperature when you're ovulating, whatever.
I have never been able to tell that.
So you get out a piece of paper, and every single day you take your temperature, and you just dope, and it just stays the same, and all of a sudden it goes up. and it'll go up like by 0.2, 0.3, and then it goes up like a 0.1. You're like, it's time now. We gotta do it. And you've got like a day or so, and then it goes poop. It goes back down. And I think I still have the little chart. Now I told my husband at the time, I'm like, I'm gonna probably have to monitor this for like 3 months. I want to watch it, and it actually worked. Because it took one time.
No, okay.
Nerd. It's just that I just had sex one time and got my kid. How was it? I didn't need to practice. I didn't need to let's do it all the time. Yeah, nope. I got a chart.
Guys are like, no, you can't trust that data. We better do it, do it all the time.
Nope. Let's do the chart.
That's when you know where you are in your relationship. If it's time to get pregnant and one person's trying to listen, we really only need to do it possibly one time a month. No, let me go and take the data. It's okay. I'll take the data. It's worth it. It's like, but can't we just do it every day just to be safe?
No, because
if there are differing opinions on that strategy, it kind of reveals some things.
Then that'd be my ex-husband. All right, so we did that. We can tell you that you were talking about your quick hit about how they closed the gyms, which is ridiculous when it comes to the amount of people and the thousands of people that have gym memberships that have just started healthy. This is the time where people start going because they're summer bodies, and now we're stuck in houses. We can get out and walk, but I can't get out and walk in this weather yet. It's not my time. I can't really probably do it till in the end of April.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
Like even when it's humid, because I thought that brought some stuff down.
Allergies.
Yeah.
It's allergies. I'm going to go through allergy season, so people are going to get out and cut their grass.
Right.
So,
I'm thinking of.
I've got to take it. I got to go outside a little bit at a time.
I'm thinking of some allergies go down because it's stuff in the air if it's humid, and other allergies won't necessarily
right
go
back
down.
up. I have year-round allergies, so I'm lucky. I'm very lucky at that. I have allergies all the time, but not as bad as some people do. And so, so the poor summer bodies, I'm going to feel real good this summer.
I was just starting to lift and lose some of my way too much winter weight. So I've been trying to walk a lot. And I'm just going to, I think dumbbell sales are going to go up. Certainly, dumbbell numbers have gone up. But no, I'd like to get one of those. I'd like to get one of those combination dumbbells, but they're really expensive.
I saw that.
Unless you want to go down to up to a whole 35 pounds. I mean, if you're a dude, dudes don't be like, oh, 35 pounds, that's the max I need. I mean, we need more than that. And if you get these ones where they're kind of like they nest, and so they don't take as much space.
I saw that.
Really expensive. Really expensive. And they don't have, a lot of times they don't have them locally, so I have to see before they throw in some order that says I can't even go into KC Metro, whether somebody like a Nebraska Furniture Mart or somebody might have those in stock, and I might pay for a premium for those. So, yeah, and another thing, you had a funny point about how we don't have the cool looks that we thought we would in this semi-apocalyptic situation.
So if anybody's ever watched any of the future shows where, when the world's been over and everybody kind of crawls out, and we still have time because, I just need to find leather is what I need to do.
Yeah.
I got to start, my she can sew really well, so I'm surprised I don't have an apocalyptic thing like Mad Max. Was it Mad Max? Is that the movie?
Yep, Mad Max.
Mad Max, and there's other ones out there.
Charlize Theron, or however you say your name.
Cutie.
Less all the what? Well, we still have time.
I know, but I'm saying this, we haven't got that far yet. It's just that we need to start pre-planning.
I know.
If we want the skippy outfits and get the leather, we have to get the studs. And
speaking of which, I saw some picture where some woman basically was, what do you call that? Oh, cosplaying, but it was in a grocery store and it had maybe did you see this? What, a latex where it looked like a Catwoman outfit, but she just had the helmet on too, with the goggles and the face and the gas mask. It's like clearly she was just kind of doing it for publicity. Right. Plus, she looked really good.
Or a picture.
Everybody's just grocery shopping, and this woman's in this black, but not leather, but latex. Yeah, no pimped out Land Cruisers yet. You said.
Yeah, we have no.
Not yet.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. But you never know. My little Ford Escape, I might be putting on some turbo thrusts and.
I said I was a little frustrated. I've actually taken off from stoplights. Like on the way here, I went.
You can do whatever you want. There's no one in the streets.
Pretty soon, it's not gonna. We'll see.
All right.
What do we want to talk about else since we've been 20 minutes?
Oh, I know. Yeah. So
go over some of the stuff we talked about in the first half of the year.
I have all of our scripts here because we're like really fancy guys. I mean, if you don't know this isn't just us moving paper around. We actually write stuff out, trying to get on there. So I'm gonna go over to. I think what I'm gonna do is. That's a new
by
one.
the way, and in the meantime, while she's looking through, don't lose your train of thought, Kim.
I won't. I'm looking.
If you have any best of or even ideas, here's something I'm looking at doing because I do have that radio background. Is looking at what you call production liners, where it's just something silly that you say and then you put it in these little bits that go in and out of commercials. So if there's anything that you thought was funny in some of these episodes. Where it's like, that's like a quick little, 3 or 4 seconds that one of us uttered that was silly or fun. Let us know about that.
Yeah, make sure, if you like something that we've done, I'm just looking through here.
Oh, and by the way, while you're looking at, one thing I noted is that the difference between last week and this week is the difference between the true, the big changes. Because last week... We were talking about last weekend. We were down. You were down in for the St. Patrick's Day parade that had just started, but now things really we had talked about doing a lot of stuff, but just the difference between recording on about 3:25 and recording on 3:24 and recording on 3:18 is a big difference, and just if you're looking back on what has happened.
And we want to the attitude and the atmosphere. I have never felt the gloom. And I don't want to compare it to 9/11, but I'm going to, because when 9/11 happened, everybody was in disbelief.
Yeah.
But the world didn't shut down. They were sad, they were mourning, they were scared, but the world didn't shut down. And our United States and others, they're shutting down. Yeah. It's a whole different, and I'm in disbelief, and it's really hard, and that's why I wanted this episode. I wanted us to just kind of be silly because I need that, because
let silliness reign.
Yeah.
After you finish that thought.
No, that's why we're doing crazy stuff this time. So back on episode number 3.
Episode number 3.
Today we will talk about smartphones and how they have changed our lives. And then we had a meme that said, you need 0 degrees to be a business owner, but you need a degree to work for a business owner. Read that again. And I disagreed with that, meaning that was ridiculous.
Right.
And so then we also we continued our discussion when we were talking about nonprofits. So let's talk about the smartphones, because first of all, without when we're changing our lives with what we're going on with right now, they're actually wanting people to be tracked by their phones so that if they get the coronavirus, they can go back and look where they've at so they can notify people. Kind of like a sexually transmitted disease.
For me, the data's already there.
It's there.
So the data's already there because most people keep on their Google services.
Right.
I don't, because
they might make it like
you can go. You'd be surprised. Now they still can track you underneath if they want, but if you really go into Facebook permissions and Google permissions, you can shut off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
This is, for me, one of the arguments against 5G and this ridiculous rollout, because the only thing it really helps, and you'll see the cheerleading for 5G, is that you can now download a movie that took you 20 minutes and but I can download it at home. Do you remember what we had before we did fast internet? It's that you would download, you would sync your device.
Yeah.
And this idea that nothing can happen unless everything is live through the air, both even for smart cities, is crazy. Because if you want to watch a movie,
right,
and you can still do it through data, and it's not really that slow if you've got a massive data plan on 4G. But you can go home, and there's enough storage on your phones that you can go download a couple of Netflix episodes and watch them later, at home on your Wi-Fi.
Right.
And the other thing, this
Who
idea
wants
that
to watch a TV show on their what size screen is that?
To me, that's the excuse. The other excuse.
Ridiculous.
So that's the cheerlead they're doing for 5G. And the other thing about 5G, which makes me irritated, is like, listen, they gather traffic information all the time. You can literally turn on traffic information already. That data is not data intensive. It's just if you put it in the small. Now, presenting it back onto your phone is a different thing. And the other thing too is that we're already wired with all these cameras. Why wouldn't you build the infrastructure as a 4G scenario into all these cameras? So, just my latest, since then, thoughts on this connected, everything has to be on smartphone scenario. It's like we're being pushed this 5G and we don't need it. And no, I don't believe in this, by the way, just slightly topical. I've not looked into it, but it really surprised me that anybody was saying something about a connection of 5G and coronavirus. So that's neither here nor there. We won't go on it. But that's like, I don't know about that. But I do have problems with 5G and think that all this idea that 4G isn't enough. Dude, you can watch videos through the air right now.
Right. And it's
you don't need 20 times it. What are we going to do with the 20 times?
It's just a selling point because we are so used to having to have better. So if you've got something for too long and they're like, even if 5G was actually just 4G, but they called it 5G, nobody would really know. Nobody would care. They'd be like, man, I got 5G.
Yeah, some people are like that.
And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, it's 4G, but we call it 5G to make you feel better.
For me, it's got a slight parallel with, are you considering everything?
Right.
Or are you just doing the rah part with the current thing? Because my argument, a lot of people is about, are you considering everything? Are you just going to look at one thing and go full effect? What's up? You're looking at the mic. What do you got next?
Nothing. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, that was that one. Episode 8, the stress of buying concert tickets.
Oh,
that would have been my... Now it's the stress of if I get to go to the concert.
Was that going to be June-ish or something?
July. I'm in July. So fingers crossed.
And just to remind the listeners, it was who again?
Elton John.
Gotcha. See, I for a second I was thinking Aerosmith. And it's like, I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, that'd be good too.
But Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John.
Good luck.
Yeah. Well, it's July, so I have
if it's
hope.
July, it better be.
If not, I'll be dead.
I honestly don't have any faith. We'll get to that in the excursion, but based on... Oh, by the way, on the excursion, Kim is now plugged in a little bit more to insider information.
Yeah,
so we'll be getting...
We'll talk about some more stuff.
So we'll be getting into maybe a little bit more for those who are listening live, even though it'll be 4 days later, live. She's a little bit more plugged in, so she might have some insights, and I'll just come at it from the questions of a citizen, as she brings up some of that stuff. Okay.
All right. So we did some misheard lyrics in one of
misheard lyrics was hilarious.
Yeah, that was
what episode was that?
That was episode 8. We did it. So it was 8 or 9. It was around there. There's more because we did it a couple times.
I kind of feel like we should do best of clips.
Best of clips. Yeah, we should. Maybe when maybe when tax season is over, we can do a marathon day where we just sit and just listen and fast forward and take notes and just come up with a show. We can do that.
That's what we should do. You need to get on this guy named Tyson since he has all this time right now. And he's got all these great ideas.
Exactly.
You want to make liners and you want to go find best of clips? Yeah, well, guess who has time and who does not have time?
You know what? I'm going to pay you to do it.
Like literally,
out of my tax dollars.
Like literally, you have infinitely more things to do than I do because anybody who has an hour of work now has infinitely more work than I do because has math shows 0 on the bottom. If you're dividing by 0, it's infinity.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we should do this, and this. Kim's probably like being nice, thinking, well, you could do that, homie.
You could do it by yourself. yourself.
You could do it.
Do a little time on your hands.
Little time on my hands.
Got time on my hands.
We did that last week, I
Time on
think.
my hands.
Speaking of old songs that we like,
Oh, yeah.
that are positive.
All right. So we did that. Then I did my first Superstar segment with Val at Val's Cheesecake, and I'll get to
Oh,
go
yeah.
back there at the end of May. So this needs to be
Hungry.
over by
Whenever
that
you
time.
mention cheesecake, I haven't eaten a lot today.
What did I have?
Oh, yeah, I did.
I had
I went
tostados.
somewhere.
I
I
had-
had a tenderloin sandwich.
I made tostados. All right. So that was that one. And then
And that was the funny misheard lyrics was in, I like how she spells it misheard. Like, like Miss Jones. She even separated it with a space.
it was.
Oh, that was on purpose. That was great.
It was.
Misheard lyrics.
That was a name.
Nice. Yeah, we actually said it at the time. When I listen to our podcast, I'll find my train of thought going to the exact, like, how I would react to what you said, because underneath I have this inborn smart-ass algorithm always running.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. Like,
So I'll be
I'm
like,
listening
I
to
know
it,
what I would say after that, and then all of a sudden then I say it.
Say it, yeah. I do the exact same thing. And
That
yes,
means you're
I do.
improvising.
Yes, I do listen to our podcast. I know, like, some of the stars are like, "Oh, I never watch my movies." Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to watch it because I need to see if I look stupid or not. And so there's some of them after. See, we talk like an hour or two before here, and then we do the show, and then we talk an hour before after, and we talk about a lot of stuff. So when the episode comes out, I have no clue.
Yeah,
what's
you don't
even in
necessarily
it
remember what was in it.
because some of our other conversations would not be appropriate, and I'm thinking, I didn't say that, did I? And so I listen to it, I'm like, oh crap,
And
thank God, because I don't even want to promote it.
That.
So anyway,
Well, the other thing too is that can I go on a side super
you
quick?
go for it.
If you listen, you the reason you want to listen is to see what you're screwing up. And I realized, just to let you know, as a 6-month anniversary, that I use pronouns too much because I know what I mean, and I've already thought through about 5 steps ahead in my brain, and I try to answer one of those things, and he, she, or it is clear enough for me, but it's not necessarily clear enough for the the listeners. So just so you know, I am working on that.
Well,
There
and
you
I remember the one episode I just said literally like 1,000 times, like literally. I keep saying
I
literally,
say it all
literally
the time.
too much.
But the good thing is, I do use it correctly.
right?
I
use
just
it.
say it too much.
I do too. That one time I was like, stop saying literally. I'm literally saying literally too much.
It's not
All
like
right.
you're going, literally my head exploded.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
at least we're not doing that. It's
No.
like no, it didn't. Literally, I was like, it was like I was in space. No, it wasn't.
No.
All right, next
All
little
right,
clip.
so back in November 5th, we recorded an episode, and it brought a tear to my eye because it said, I went to the casino. They're closed now. I can't go.
Looking back. I thought it was going to be that early episode where I gave you an idea of how lonely I was.
Oh,
And
no.
you're like, oh, that really hurt my heart. So I listened to that the other day, and there was something about down in Party Cove.
Yes.
So we have a lake. Everybody who has a lake or whatever
remember that
has
one.
a Party Cove where all the boats string together.
Yeah,
and we
well,
have one
then-
too. And I mentioned that I was the guy up on the bridge. Walking by, and you're like,
Looking
oh, that
down.
hurts my heart. That you're just walking by.
Well, we're having fun. Today at the office, the CPA that I work for, and his girlfriend, she works there. One of our clients runs one of the marinas at one of our lakes, and we were
Right.
talking back and forth, and they were talking about like we can't camp again this year because it flooded the whole park last year, so they're still redoing it. And I walk in the room, and he goes, "Hey, such and such, this is Kim," and I go, "That's nice to meet you." And he goes, "He owns a such and such dock at the lake," and I was like, "Oh, cool! I go there all the time." And he goes, "She's one of the Party Cove swimsuit models." And I was like, yes, I am.
But
I don't say that I'm a good one.
Going back, you said the tear in your eye was
The
just
tear in the eyes that I
idea.
can't go to the casino.
You can't go to the
That's my
casino.
only break during tax season. Literally, 'cause
Yeah.
I could go. I just said literally, but it is because Dang it!
At least it's accurate.
So when I'm doing taxes, I don't associate with anybody for the fact of is I have to do it at my time. So I could be doing taxes and on a Sunday afternoon, I could just go to the casino. I don't make plans because all my plans are to meet with people or to do stuff like that. And so I need a place where if I want at 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, you know what, I'm not tired. I want to drive to the casino. I'm going to go to the casino and I can go. There's people there. I know people. I don't even have to know people. I will just meet you and you will become BFFs. I can play my game for 2 hours and then I can just drive home. That is my safe haven. And not having that this time is driving me nuts. Not that I'm addicted to the gambling part. I'm addicted to the getaway, get out of my house.
And just the quick, easy way, the quick, easy avenue of doing it without having to make special plans.
Right. I don't have to make plans.
That's
I can
the thing
just
that
go.
you like.
I could do it. It's not a movie because I'll fall asleep in a movie. It's not taking brain power. I'm not having to think about anything. I'm just sitting there. The sounds are so the sounds in the background at the casino help me, and that's why my mental health is like, oh my gosh, and that's why I'm watching so much flipping TV. So,
yeah, so sad face on that. But if you haven't listened and you're listening for the first time, we have talked about her gambling and casino adventures more than once. That will be a thread that will be a thread, and those are fun and interesting.
Yep,
so
I like my
that's
casino.
part of the thread of the show so far too.
Yep.
I almost said cantinas.
Cantinas.
That too.
All right, so let's see. We had remember when Snoop Dogg visited KU?
Yeah, I just listened to
and
that
then
the other day.
KU had to apologize because we were offended.
And you thought, one of the things that you said about it's Snoop Dogg visited at late night at the Fog, which is something that KU started some time ago, and a lot of other colleges back when it was. Hold on, am I finally over him leaving? Roy Williams, and it would be kind of the kickoff of the season, and the students would come and be hype night. Anyway, Snoop Dogg played at the very end, and you said he played for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a concert.
So, but because it was a Snoop Dogg concert, some people had their panties in a wad, and because guess what happens?
And then some people were also upset.
Yeah. But enough about the dancers.
Some of them didn't have any panties on at all.
Well, that changes everything, but.
Yeah,
anyway,
they had the pole dancers, and evidently with that, and then the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, they were in fairly quick
people
succession.
do not like pole dancers. I mean, evidently that's a bad thing, and I would take a pole dancing class in a heartbeat. The amount of muscle that it takes to do that.
You'd be in good shape.
Yeah. So anyway,
I don't need to be racking myself as I'm doing a movement. That's probably why guys don't do as much pole dancing.
Oh no, there's guys that do pole dancing. Oh, I will watch that all day long. That's incredible.
Yeah, I've seen the one because remember somewhere in there you mentioned one, and it was
I showed
there are
you
contests.
Yeah,
they're international contests.
Yeah,
and it can be artistry. It doesn't just have to be.
I will be a judge for the male pole dancing. I'll do it. I mean, I don't have a lot of time.
She said male pole and dancing.
Hey, I also said friends with benefits.
Indeed.
So, this one we lead to is New Year's resolutions.
I don't remember that one. New Year's resolutions, I remember all. I was going to prepare myself to get a better job. Not that I have any problem with it, but I've always been behind the income curve versus my effort and the quality of an employee I am. And there's two reasons for that. I don't represent myself well. As far as, if you will, having an advocate, being your own self-advocate.
Right.
And then I also am just, I don't like the job process. I like to stay in place. I'd really rather stay in place, and I have this idealism that then they'll reward when people who stay in place. That does happen in places, but it's rare. So one of mine was going to be work towards getting a better job.
Fail. Go ahead.
Yeah, so far, so
Fail.
not.
So then your other one was
working
to
towards
get out
home ownership.
Fail. We haven't done that either. What about
Not at all.
socializing more and going to group?
Part of it was, the corollary was networking.
Yeah.
And poor Kim's like, you got an option here because I only do a
I
a
do
dinner once every month. And even the last one, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm definitely going to go this time. And then I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
And unfortunately, I didn't even know he wasn't, like, we were at the place. It was like a Chinese place. And I totally forgot he was supposed to come. And he texted me and he's like, I'm not going to make it. I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I don't even plan it anymore. So I'm not even going to look forward to it.
One big trend also, speaking of themes, is the introversion, extroversion thing. And for me, what I tell you, I said, I feel like I'd be better if we had name tags.
Right.
Because introverts don't necessarily, like, if they do maybe pick up a conversation with somebody and they talk enough, they'll tend to maybe remember some of those details, but they're not going to talk to most people. And then they feel awkward later. Like, they're not ready to just be a force of nature and go, hey, how you doing? And it's like something that tells us, like, this is how I would do it. I would even do it at family reunions, because I have the same problem at big family events. I would go name tag plus just a couple bullet points.
Kind of like at a high school reunion with your high school picture on it, so people are like, oh.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that was you.
Yeah. Looking okay.
Like those little bullet points where if you're being a great host and you think of some commonalities super quick,
right?
You would just go, hey, so both of you like the gym. I think that you used to go to such and such gym, and I believe Jim here also went to that gym. His name, in fact, his nickname is Jim Jim. It's really weird. And then you let them go off on their way, like you've raised them well.
So here, let me tell you, you don't need to know people's names or anything about them ever, because I can't remember any of that. I meet thousands of people. In fact, people will come up to me.
Of these social events.
But I don't. I am awkward because I have 4,100 people on Facebook, and they will walk up to me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, Kim, I loved your toes that you got. Those are so cute. And what about Chelsea? Now, did she do that and do this? And I'm thinking, how the fuck do I know this person? Do I know them? Is it a Facebook person? Did I work with them? And so then I have to start asking questions like, oh, so how's everything going with you? And this one lady was out one time.
I would just feel like people would see right through me as soon as I did that.
That's why but they don't care because
as long as you're reacting back. So go ahead and finish. So you say things like, how are things going with you?
Yeah, I say.
This one lady.
So this one lady, she was sitting there and we're all talking and she looks at me and she goes, do you know me? And I looked at her and I totally recognized her. And I go, I recognize you. And she goes, I'll wait till you figure it out. And I was like, man, okay. And so I'm sitting there and we're talking and stuff like that. And so I kept looking at her and then I'd say this place and she goes, nope.
So you just go ahead and guess at the social circles. So I'd be like, ugh.
No, I'm like, and what about this? And nope. And I could tell that she's a fun person. She wasn't being rude. And then I looked at her and said, I have absolutely no clue. She goes, I was one of your billet parents. And I was like, that's like 7 years ago.
You're Hoobie Whatty?
Hockey. I was in charge of all the hockey players and their families when they lived here.
She was one of the. Call it?
It's called a billet house. Okay. And so she was like, and I was like, oh my gosh! But she had gotten so much older.
We've had a hockey team in this. We're a small city, so they keep trying. And it ends up being that they're basically high school.
They're high
kids.
Schoolers trying to get in.
So they need basically a sponsor homes, if you will, that type of thing.
So anyway, it was her, and then I was like, oh my gosh! But in the 5 to 7 years or however long that's been a long time, she had changed. I mean, I recognized it, but I know so many people, so I don't have a problem with going, I don't know who you are. And on Facebook, I always tell people, if you come up to me, tell me who you are and don't expect me to remember your name, but let me know that I know you from Facebook, and then I'll go stalk you on Facebook, because people that interact with me on Facebook all the time, they think that I know who they are.
Three-dimensionally.
And I don't recognize them half the time.
Yeah, you don't see them three-dimensionally. May not have seen enough pictures. And then if you see somebody in a certain circle, and then you're used to them in a certain circle. I saw somebody from the theater community the other day in a work area circle. Right. And it took me, like, I literally went ahead and asked at some point, which is kind of an advance for me.
Woo! Well, we'll give you one mark.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not thinking of your name. I actually said that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, yeah, so we were talking about resolutions and...
So, yeah, I think I have...
So,
I don't remember.
0%.
I don't even remember.
Zero.
Did I have my resolutions in here? Let me see if I...
Be more social, and maybe for me that was more social, specifically with the idea of how it will help network. And then also home ownership, and I've done neither.
So mine was more stringent schedules for work. And during tax season, that doesn't happen, but I am successful with that. I can show you all my, by every hour by hour by hour, half hour, 15 minutes. Everything is written out daily. Did it. Workout. I work out 5 days a week. I don't work out at all because now I don't have a flipping gym, and I can't go outside. So I gave myself 4 days off. That's all I haven't worked out. And then I will start this weekend. I'll just do I'll do my home yoga and stuff like that. I almost said aerobics, but I can't.
Erotica, what?
Ooh, well, I am alone.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay, so, and also eating, the last 2 days because of my sinus infection, I have to, because of the medicine,
Wait,
I have to eat more.
What's the resolution?
To eat better.
Oh, okay.
But I am on 1,200 calories in my Fitness Pal, so I haven't for the last couple days because the last couple days I felt like shit. I don't mentally really have any energy whatsoever
To worry about counting
any of that stuff. I'm lucky if I eat during the day, so I know that I'm within my calories because I've done it long enough to know, like, I can only have this, I can only have that, and if I feel like I want to have more, I will go enter them in, but I don't because I don't really eat that much. So I'm good. Basic life. I was doing really good till the stupid virus. Everything was really great.
What's the resolution?
That was it.
What's basic life?
My basic life, just be better at it. Enjoy it.
Okay.
Just be better. And so I've been doing it and organized my business better. That's getting there, but that I need to keep.
I'm also
working
really
on.
good at not making any improvements at things I didn't plan on improving, just so you know. So I was at something called...
So what have you done?
I was at Spirit Mind Body Fair, which is something that happens 2 times a year here. And it's just, vendors, and some people are trying to take readings, and other people are trying to show you cool things. So I do it every time. And someone, tried to say, I feel like romance is in your future. And I laughed. So, I laughed her.
That's not that happening. Romance could be with ice cream. You do not know.
Right, exactly.
We talked about that.
Oh, yeah, we did that just last week or the week before.
I know a lot of people, they're going to listen to episode 25 and they're going to be like finding love. They're going to build really good relationships.
Oh, yeah. We made a joke about that. Of all the people.
Of all the people you'd want to take advice from.
Worst case, you know what taking the advice from the 2 single people, the idea is that, how some people are motivated by the mistakes their parents made when they parent later. Right? So they still can get some ideas. It might be to the opposite.
I think that'll be another episode. We haven't had our episode of our mistakes. We'll do an episode of what our mistakes were. I got a few mistakes.
Oh, I was going to say our successes, and it'll be like, that'll be our shortest episode. Our relationship.
Welcome to Kimology.
Thank you for making our show grow so much. It's like in and out in 5 minutes.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to stop it here because we've had enough time just kind of laughing, giggling, and being not so serious all the time. If you guys could only hear...
Insert last-minute inappropriate sexual joke. Here.
You can do that.
Because that's another theme we have. We'll be on the most serious topic, and then all of a sudden there'll be some implication of a dick joke or something. You're like, thanks for listening to that serious topic. And making our show grow so much like an excited penis.
Well, it's got to be us. I mean, I'm not a serious person. None of this crap that we talk about that's serious. If I were talking, it would be more fun. I want to have fun with stuff, and some things just can't be fun with. You're like, yeah, like multiple people died. Can't be fun with that, but I can't talk about a penis.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that as we've grown,
Yeah.
in the 6 months, is that we have went ahead and dropped a couple vulgarities.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
A couple profanities.
Because I can remember he's like, so are we going to be able to say it? And I was like, yeah, we can say whatever we want. But it needs to fit the topic. It doesn't, I'm not going to just throw it in there. Well, it's got to be organic.
But, and I don't know if you've been, I haven't been trying to police this. If you said, some slight profanity, just a couple mentions.
I'm just trying to get the ratings up.
So just know, next, we're going to redo episode 1 and be like a Netflix show.
Exactly.
And we're going to add nudity to our podcast. Because that's it. That's the strategy.
We're gonna So actually, we'll be the first podcast that Netflix makes into a series.
Yeah, because there was nudity in the first episode or two. That got people.
You guys don't realize that Tyson doesn't ever wear clothes here. He wears like a long trench coat, and then he does it nude. As he likes to feel one with the chair. I do sterilize the chair. Sorry.
I'm over here shaking my head. So yeah, the serious stuff has come up in the excursion, but hey, I feel like we're having fun, and I hope you guys are too. Let us know what you think.
All right.
6 months, woohoo! Hey, and this is looking back. This is medium elbow.
Elbow.
Medium elbow, not high five, not hug.
Thank you guys so much for giving us your time, and we appreciate our listeners, and we're excited that the show is still going after 26 episodes. That is amazing. Make sure to comment on our Facebook group, Kimology 411, and you've had 6 months to join, and if you haven't joined, you still have a chance. No fees. Thank you, Tyson, for helping make Kimology 411 so fun and awesome.
Well, I've got time. I can add my awesomeness more concentrated fashion for this show because I don't have to put any of it into work right now. So you're very welcome.
Well, thank you. And so you guys, we'll talk to you soon. And please make sure to keep taking all of your adventures. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.